All right, so decided to go with clematis on the espalier wall back here on the fence. So I'm gonna get these clematis placed out exactly where we want them. We still need to do the wiring. We'll explain that more in detail, but we decided to go clematis because I opted for an option that would grow on old wood and old and new wood. So there's different classes of clematis. There's 3 classes of clematis. We'll go into detail further when we get to that point, but I really loved Star Jasmine, but we started over every single year. We'd get a cold snap and we'd start over every year, and we'd have to retrain it at our old house from the ground up. So I decided that I would try clematis this year. I would spend the money and pay a little bit more in order to get clematis that bloomed on old wood primarily, and then some that bloomed on old and new wood. So the nursery didn't have enough of the exact clematis that I wanted. We needed 10 in order to fill up the espalier wall. So we went 5 and 5. So we'll get a different bloom on basically half of the espalier wall, which I think will mix it up. I think it will definitely make it interesting. So anyways, let me just get these clematis placed, and then we'll talk about the classes of clematis, what blooms on old wood, what blooms on new wood, and what blooms on both. Okay, so we have this entire space. We'll be going from about here all the way down to our carriage house down there. We have top dressed the soil with some garden soil just to get it in good shape. It's been the same soil for the last 2 years. We do not have irrigation over here, so this will have to be watered by hand. But Tommy just got that laid down, and then we are going to back it up. We're going to place the clematis here shortly, but we are going to back it up because we need to do all of the espalier wiring, and I think we have enough wire, but I'm not quite sure. We did order some more that will be in tomorrow, so we may finish this video on another day, but for now we're just gonna go ahead and get the wiring done, and we'll explain to you kind of what we're thinking as far as the espalier pattern goes here shortly. So we are going to be doing a 3-tier espalier. So we will basically box this entire area in here, and we'll do 1, 2, and 3 eye bolts here, and then we will cross every 10 panels. It will be different varying on your situation, but I would just measure and make sure that you get your measurements all correct. But I would start with how big you want your diamonds to be, and then go from there. So every house that we've done this on, we've done a 3-tier, so 1, 2, 3 eye bolts, and then crisscrossed all the way down from there and back up. So obviously the bigger your diamonds, the less plants you need. All right, so you can see on the left-hand side, we've put our 3 eye bolts to start. Here, we're just going through and putting eye bolts on the top and the bottom every 10 panels. You need to decide how long your espalier wall is going to be. You need to count your panels and or measure. It's going to be specific to your situation and how big you want your espalier diamond patterns to be. I know there will be questions. This is the black vinyl coated wire that we got for this espalier. I ordered this a couple years ago. It's 100 foot. I think we're going to be a little bit short again, so we will figure out how much more we need. We've already ordered a little bit extra, so we'll get what we can done today, and then in another video I will show the completed product. But regardless, we will plant today and get the plants where they belong in the ground. This wire also comes with these little crimping beads here. and we're just crimping them with regular pliers. It's holding really, really well. This is much better than the wire that we used at our last house, and obviously it blends in to our fence, which is gray, and the wire is black. It's much more high quality than the green coated that we used at our old house. So far I'm very, very happy. Okay, so got the clematis all placed. We don't have enough wire, as I mentioned earlier. Hopefully that comes in tomorrow midday or so and we can complete this. But have the clematis all placed here. We'll go over the specs and all about the plant after we get these planted, but just want to get them in the ground first. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so got all of these planted. When we get the remainder of the wire, we'll get started training them. But in the meantime, let me take you up here and I will show you the varieties that I got. Okay, so the first clematis is a multi-blue. It is a double bloom and I've grown it before. It's very pretty. It is a type 2 clematis. It's going to be a repeat bloomer. It's going to bloom on old and new wood. So that's something that I wanted for this wall, was something that bloomed on old and new wood, or just old wood in general. Because if I was going to go with a deciduous vine, because I can't seem to find a reliable evergreen, then I wanted to get something that bloomed on either all old wood or new and old. So a Nelly Mosier, I've also grown this in the past. I've grown both of these in containers though. So hardiness zones 4 through 9. It gets up to, this says 15 feet tall. The tag at the nursery said 13, but I think we'll be able to get all the way to this 8-foot fence regardless. But it is a multi-bloomer as well. Clematis do like their bases shaded, so they will get that over here. This will block all of the afternoon sun, so they should be good to go, but they will get a lot of overhead sun as it's clear right above them. So once we get the rest of the wires put up, we will be training them. I need to get them watered in now. Once I get to training them, I will be removing these bamboo poles, but hopefully these work out. I also, some people suggested Carolina jessamine, and while I did consider that, there's a lot of contradictory information about them being toxic to honeybees as well as cats and dogs and other animals, so I decided to play it safe and go with clematis. Although clematis are toxic to cats and dogs, I don't expect our animals to chew on these, but they are definitely not toxic to honeybees. So anywho, I'm gonna get these watered in and then I will continue filming the rest of this video once we get the wire in. Okay, so we've gotten the espalier wall done, but before I show all of that, I thought that I would mention the toxicity that I mentioned. Yes, it is toxic to animals. However, clematis give off a real bitter taste, and it's typically not an issue for cats and dogs, things like that. So anyways, this is the espalier wall. Our diamonds are fairly large diamonds also mean less training. So that is another reason why I decided to go with some of the larger diamonds, in addition to needing less plants, because an espalier wall is not exactly the cheapest project when you take into account how many plants you actually need. If you grow them from seed, obviously it would be a cheap project, and I should have done that, and I just didn't get around to it, and I didn't really think about it. So here we are with clematis, and they're Nelly Mosier, like I mentioned. Nelly Mosier and then the multi-blue, and they are just alternated. At least I think they're alternated, because the tags, when they were in the back of the car when we got them, a couple of them had fallen off. So I used my best educated guess to decide the ones that had lost their tag, which were multi-blue and which were Nelly Mosier. But regardless, it'll be pretty. You can see that they're already putting off buds here, and they've actually, I'm in a delay on getting this video out because we've just had a lot going on. So this is about just a week's worth of growth actually. And they're looking really good. I'm really, really happy with them. I actually need to water them here shortly, but this is the completed espalier wall. And as I mentioned briefly earlier in this video, everything is going to depend on your measurements, how tall your fence is, how wide you want your espalier diamonds. Do you want a 1, 2, 3-tier? Do you want a 2-tier? Kind of depends on what you want. So I know a lot of people in this video will probably ask, can you please give me the measurements and things like that. We have an 8-foot fence, but it's going to be different for everybody. So I didn't want to give our measurements, but the way that we think is the easiest to do it is decide how tall you want it. Number one, split the difference measurement wise there, and then figure out how many fence panels you want. Figure out how wide you want your espalier diamonds to be, and then just count literally from there. And it makes it way easier if you can see down here where where it goes down. That throws off a lot of the measurements. But if you're just doing here and a big box, it is super, super easy. So if you've been wanting to try this, you should most certainly give it a shot. When this starts to fill up and when it gets trained, it looks really pretty. I'll add, for those of you that haven't seen it, I'll add some photos of our previous house's espalier wall. I really, really loved it. And after looking at those photos, I cannot believe that I didn't just go ahead and do this project 2 years ago when I bought the wire for this, when we were supposed to, when we first moved in. It is a very easy project. While not the cheapest in the plant department, it is a very easy project that adds a lot of impact in your garden. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.